Welcome to Gallantry, the heroic exploit of the Nigerian military. I am your host, Amunde. This week's episode promises to be extremely exciting as we shine the spotlight on the Northwest Troops Operational Theatre. We will also bring you our usual spotlight on the Nigerian Armed Forces activities and successes recorded within the last year. Plus, we have many other interesting segments lined up for your viewing pleasure. So, stay with us and let's dive into the world of gallantry. Gallantry, the heroic exploit of the Nigerian military. It is a captivating television program that delves into the diverse and often unseen operations of the Nigerian Military Task Force (GTF) across the country's 6 geopolitical zones. Each episode will embark on a captivating journey, exploring a specific JTF operation within a unique zone. Viewers will be immersed in the heart of the action, witnessing firsthand the challenges, strategies, and triumphs of the Nigerian military as they tackle pressing security concerns in their respective regions. Join me every Saturday at 3 p.m. on Rapid Television, channel 176 on the Star Times decoder for an interesting expository package.
I am Major General Edward Buba, the Director Defense Media Operations at Defense Headquarters. For more on our activities, stay tuned to Gallantry on Rapid Television.
You can as well follow us on all our social media handles. You're still watching Gallantry on Rapid Television. The Defense Headquarters, under the leadership of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa Gwambi, recently sponsored defense correspondents to visit various theaters of operations. The correspondents assessed troop performances, met with commanders, and gathered feedback from locals. Today, a spotlight shines on the Northwest Operational Theatre.
The operations of the theater cover 6 states in the West, Northwest, and North Central zones, which includes Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, and Niger states. The operating environment covers a total landmass of about 251,041 square kilometers. It is characterized by a vast expanse of forested area with undulating and rocky terrain, crisscrossed with flowing seasonal rivers and streams liable to flood during the rainy seasons. And this terrain hinders troops' movement. The hills and high grounds serve as observation posts and hideouts for terrorists, while most of the ungoverned forests within the operational environment are exploited by terrorists and armed groups as enclaves in the region. Most of these forested areas also hold large deposits of mineral resources, which are illegally mined by the terrorists and armed groups to finance their nefarious activities, and in addition to other resources. The Joint Task Force Operation Area is structured into the Theater Command, headquarters located in Gusau, that's where you are now, and Sector 1 and 2 with their headquarters in Kaduna and Sokoto respectively. The dynamics and level of threat posed by terrorists and armed bandits and violent extremists in the theater has systematically and negatively affected socio-economic activities in the area. The threats within the theater includes terrorism, kidnapping for ransom, cattle rustling, farmer-herder clashes, and inter-ethnic conflicts. The terrain and the weather in the theater, especially the high grounds and marshy vegetation, provides opportunity for the terrorists to establish enclaves in restricted and severe restricted areas. The threat level in the joint operation area is further compounded with the emergence of the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel terrorists known as the Lukrawas. The presence of these terrorists is believed to be a well-calculated move to leverage on the existing terrorism and banditry activities in the theater to expand their operations from the republics of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Benin into Nigeria. Sector 2 has, however, taken the bull by the horn with the commencement of Operation Chase Lukrawas Out. An assessment of their activities shows that the Lukrawas are negotiating to form alliance with some key terrorist and banditry syndicates in the region. The alliance, if allowed to foster, may degenerate into a deadlier threat from a combination of purely criminality and religious extremism of the Boko Haram and Islamic State in Iraq and Syria.
We do have over 50 bandit groups operating in Katsina State. And these bandit groups have different leaderships, varying alliances, different kinds of motivations, different locales, and different tactics. If I would say ambition and motivation and tactics, they tie into one for some of them. For instance, there are those who specialize in kidnapping. So their tactics is kidnapping. What is their motivation? Ransom. So they tie into one. There are some that specialize in cattle rustling. So you will always see them operating in areas where cattle reariness is pronounced. And then you always see them acting in line with that. Then there are those who are actual bandits, robbers, who waylay people on the road, rob them, kidnap some, and some do a combination of some of these criminal activities that we're talking about. So depending on their expertise, their capabilities, and their motivation, and their modus operandi, you will find them in different parts of the state. There are specifically 9 local governments in Katsina State that we call the frontline local government areas. This is where banditry is most rife, and there are about 4 or 5 other additional local governments in Katsina State where we have pockets of banditry operating in order to combat it. So that is basically what we are experiencing in Katsina State. Now to our achievements. The statistics I know in the presentation we gave, so I won't give you figures so that you can pick from the actual facts, but we've neutralized a lot of them. We have conducted several operations within the mountainous areas and within the generally savanna type areas. We have been able to rescue a lot of people who were kidnapped at one point in time or the other. Some by virtue of the operations that we conduct, offensive operations, and then some specifically to rescue operations targeted at a particular set of people that were kidnapped, and we went in search of them. Additionally, we've recovered a lot of cattle that we've handed over to the state government or local authorities to return to their respective governments. And we've reunited a lot of families on account of us rescuing them and handing them over. We do our operations in liaison with other formations that are operating within the theater. And one brigade, Kuso, which you just came from, shares a boundary with us, an extensive boundary, so we conduct operations jointly a lot of times. One deep garrison from Gallantry in Kaduna, they share a boundary with us, and we equally do conduct operations jointly with them. Of course, ground operations cannot be totally, utterly successful without the involvement of the air component. And thankfully, in Katsina State, 17 Brigade specifically, we have been able to achieve a remarkable level of land-air integration.
Considering the nature of insecurity that we are facing in the northwest, the Nigerian military under Operation Fasanyama has been doing a lot to contain the threat. And to the best of my knowledge, I think we've done well, and a lot of work needs to be done anyway. The tempo of the operation has increased, and this has put a lot of pressure on the tourists. And that is why you see a shift in what usually has been the case. The terrorists has begun to use improvised explosive devices in recent times. And that is a sign of a defeatist. As when we are hitting them very hard and they felt that the pressure is becoming too much, they come up with other strategies, either to incapacitate the advancing force or to prevent us from approaching the enclaves. But that has in no way deterred us, and we will continue to push until we completely root them out of this entire northwest. I have just one message to those that have not surrendered: that if you do not surrender, you'll be neutralized and you will go down. Just like their godfather, Haile Subudu, who was neutralized by troops of one brigade. And that has really shaken them to their bone marrow. So as it is, there's a lot of fear in their camps, and they know we're coming after them and we're going to get them. I think the major issue is ignorance, illiteracy, lack of awareness, and that is why the tackling the task of containing insecurity does not rest on the shoulders of the military alone. The military military effort is just about 35% of the effort. There are other stakeholders that needs to do their own part. And just like I keep saying in any fora, the work of ensuring security in an environment rests on three-legged stool, in which the stool must be balanced for us to maintain harmony in the environment, and which implies that the government, the security agencies, and the people must work together. So if the security agencies, headed by the military, is doing its efforts, its bits, and the other two components of the table are not, then we will not have a secure environment. So it requires that other aspects of the stool must work harmoniously, and so that means the government efforts and support, including policies, economy, and other aspects of social life, must be taken care of. And that is where some of these people can be discouraged. If we continue to use all the whole military efforts, it may not give the desired result. But I'm assuring you, when the people work with us and the government work with us and with the efforts of the military, we should be able to come to a conclusion. There are some challenges of road infrastructure, but I think some effort is in progress as it is right now. A lot of road construction is ongoing, both at the state level and the federal level. And that is why the government is passionate at ensuring that the road networks within this region is addressed. The issue of road deficit is addressed. And once that is done, I'm sure it's going to help in improving the security situation within the Northwest region.
The journey has been tedious, but with the grace of God, we have been doing our best in order to ensure the locals in this general area are secure and safe. We are able to carry out clearance operation in this general area since the 1st of December 2024. We carry out clearance operation in the general area of Sarma, Bauni, and Tona. The Lakurawas have an entry along Sarma village where they infiltrate into this local government. So, and they hibernate within that general area of Sarma and Boni, and also in Businia forest. So the garrison commander, Edif, was able to tax our own unit, 248 Reiki Battalion, in order to carry out a clearance operation to flush out these terrorists from our local government. So we are able to carry out that operation on the 1st of December, and we clear them in this local government. And we are able to push them to the general area of Gudu, which on the 8th of December, we successfully finished the limited precaution operation. We are waiting for the next operation, which we are presently preparing, whereby the Chief of Defense Staff also taxed our unit in order to carry out another operation, whereby presently the SF battalion are presently in Sokoto. It came for Reiki yesterday. We are going to carry out a robust operation in order to flush out these terrorists from our locality. There are a lot of sympathizers and also informants. Before we go out of any operation, these sympathizers and informants usually call and inform the terrorists about our patrols and whereabouts. The locals usually allow the terrorists to come and marry some of their women in the place, whereby they have a relationship, since this village and Niger are close. So there is a lot of relationship between them, whereby they see them as one, and they don't try to expose them or to report to us that so person is is trying to, whether the person is trying to cause problem or not, or the terrorists do not harm them because they told them that they are not their problem, that they are carrying out jihad on the military or security personnel and also government officials.
From the period of January this year to today. Okay, so the statistics for the terrorists neutralized and what have been paragraph 7 is from January 2024 till date. So probably you use today's date, 13th December. Okay, and so that you know that we don't just pick figures from anywhere to impress. We have our data that is compiled on weekly basis just to show you that. We commenced precursor operations under Operation Forest Sanity 3, a subsidiary operation of Operation Fasanyama, which we tagged Chase Lakurawas Out. It commenced about a week ago, and it has been very, very successful. We have cleared a number of forests. We have destroyed a number of their camps. If you look at the slides there, it has all the details of members of the sect that have been neutralized, the camps that have been destroyed, weapons and ammunition that have been recovered. And to consolidate on this, as we speak, the CDS deployed the Defense Headquarters Special Operations Brigade. They have arrived Sokoto and Kebbi State, and they are to consolidate on the precursor operations of chasing the Lakurawas out. They are specialized troops, specifically selected and trained for this purpose. They are a brigade size force, and all the assets needed have been provided by the Chief of Defense Staff, and that operation has joined up with our troops and is ongoing as we speak. Reduction in the number of attacks is success. I'm happy you people went through at least most of the states within 8 Division AOR. The number of commuters that fly Funtua to Sokoto is outrageous. So if there's no security, if bandits have overtaken the road as it is claimed, then you won't have those number of trailers and commuters traveling. I don't know if you had the opportunity to visit the motor parks. If you had gone to the motor parks, you will see that business is moving. It means there's security. It means that there's improvement. You went to Tangaza. I'm sure you interacted with the locals. I'm sure maybe because of time they couldn't take you around. But if they have taken you around Tangaza, Gudu, Ilela, you would have seen that Lakurawas are not controlling any 6 local governments as previously reported. They come in and go, yes. Nigeria's landmass is very wide, so that is expected. But with the ongoing operations, I can even tell you in the past few weeks, they've been fleeing between us and the Nigerians. And we're also in touch with the Nigerians. A few days ago, we gave them information that the Lakurawas were crossing over, and they conducted massive bombardments which neutralized a couple of them. So we're in touch with them. We've commenced our joint operations together.
They come, because the time that they come, these kidnappers are worrying us. They will come and carry you, and when they give them money, they will kill you. So when they come, They say they want to save our people. You know, a local man, when you say you will save him because of these terrorists, they will accept you. But later, they understand that they are all the same because they will put their animals inside your farm. So they are all the same to you. That is why they accepted them before. But later, they ran away from them.
gaskiya alhamdulillah tsakiya nan kan mun samu sauki sosai insha Allah rabbi dan ba kamar kwanakan baya ba inda aka baro yanzu kam gaskiya an samu sauki 100% dan ga yanayin inda ake shiga a aikin gona a menene sauransu mun samu zaman lafiya a yankinan mu dan ga kwanakin bayan da muka yi aikin gona muna cikin matsala mu je da gudu mu dawo da gudu amma yanzu cikin hukuncin Allah yanzu gaskiya alhamdulillah mun rabi da jin irin wannan rudanin da muka ji kwanakin baya yanzu kamar an samu zaman lafiya 100% kuma inda za a tayi haka insha Allah za a yi noma hankali kwance shekara mai zuwa da izinin Allah gaskiya alhamdulillah
almost 2 months da suka wuce gaskiya hanya alhamdulillah akwai tsaro sosai insha Allah an kwana biyu gaskiya ba a yi kidnapping ba ko wani abu dai gaskiya saboda always muna bi hanyar nan da safe da yamma to sabanin last year ko kuma 6 months da suka wuce banda su dauki mutanen rana da yamma amma gaskiya 2 months da suka wuce lafiya launi yanzu ma gashi in banda aka sa doka karfe bakwai ba a wucewa wani kusa guraren da za mu yi tafiya har Sokoto lafiya lau insha Allah.
Alhamdulillah gaskiya muna samun kwanci hankali a ciki sanadiyar wannan ma'aikata amma a past ba mu samu amma a yanzu alhamdulillah muna walwala muna jin daɗi wannan hanya alhamdulillah an samu sauki wannan kwanakin a cikin wannan kwanakin an samu sauki amma a can baya kafin a ce ma'aikata mun sha wahala amma yanzu alhamdulillah normal muke zaune mu je inda muke so mu shiga daji mu ayyukan mu dare pelles alhamdulillah haka muke yanzu
hakika mun samu ci gaba don gurgurun zarafi dai akwai kwanciyar hankali ba irin lore ba gaskiya ko ina cikin mu da ban mu da kasashen mu da sauransu akwai kwanciyar hankali suna aiki sosai bisa ga gaskiya kafin su zo babu dama don muna so mu kwanta waje ba mu kwanci muna so mu yi tahiya ba mu tahiya ko ina ba mu zuwa wuri kayyadadde na gare mu na zuwa to ta fannin da mun ka sami tsaro ci gaba fannin su tsaro to mun sami tsaro ko yanzu ana zuwa gonaki ko yaushe.
Let's explore the Nigerian Air Force's achievements over the past year under Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar's leadership.
Under Air Marshal H.B. Abubakar, the Nigerian Air Force prioritized the welfare of its personnel.
As a service, we are very much aware of the importance of welfare and motivation of our personnel, because in any system, be it civilian or military, the human element is the most important. If the human being in any system is adequately taken care of, this time in terms of welfare, even if that system is basic in terms of equipment and facilities, but the human being is adequately taken care of and is properly motivated, then that system will function very well and it will achieve results. And on the other hand, no matter how sophisticated the system is, no matter how much equipment and facilities you have, how expensive these things are, if the human being that will manage those systems is not adequately taken care of, you can be sure that that system is going to fail. And that is why we pay a lot of attention to the human being. The human being must be comfortable, must be happy, must be motivated in order for us as a system, the Nigerian Air Force, to be able to carry out our operations and succeed optimally. And as such, we have carried out quite a few initiatives and interventions as far as the welfare of our personnel is concerned. We procured an insurance policy for all the personnel in the Nigerian Air Force, group personal accidents, and this covers accidents, issues with dislocation or fractures or serious sicknesses that are not covered by the National Health Insurance Scheme. So all those serious illnesses and serious injuries are adequately catered for by this insurance policy, and the aim is to give our personnel that confidence to be able to carry out their jobs very effectively despite the risks that may be inherent in those jobs, knowing fully that if anything happens while they are performing those jobs, there is a good cushioning effect, that will help them to manage those eventualities. Before now, there was the group life insurance
that is managed by the Ministry of Defense. There is also another insurance policy that is also managed by the Nigerian Air Force Investment Limited that covers only the air crew. Of course, because of the inherent nature of the risks associated with air crew duties. But we felt that was not sufficient because there are so many other trade specialties that also have inherent risks in them, and as such we extended this cover to cover everybody in the Nigerian Air Force. So irrespective of trade specialty and irrespective of rank, whenever any of these eventualities happen, you will benefit significantly from this insurance policy, and this we believe will give a lot of confidence and impetus in terms of the welfare and morale of our personnel so that they can optimally carry out their duties. Another intervention we have done as far as the welfare and morale of our personnel is concerned is in the area of post-service housing schemes. The Air Force has conducted quite a few schemes for post-service resettlement of its personnel, but a lot of these schemes have been targeted at the officers because of the costs and the location and the types of facilities that are provided in these schemes. They are too expensive for the lower cadre of the personnel whose income is not as high, and as such we felt this set of personnel have been left out in the past. They also need to be adequately resettled when they leave the service. In order to improve their welfare, we have embarked on a couple of post-service housing schemes specifically targeted at the airmen, taking into consideration their level of income and the type of facilities and accommodation they will be requiring and that are affordable to them upon retirement. In that regard, we have obtained 84 hectares of land from the Kaduna State government purely for establishing this post-service housing scheme in Kaduna. We have also got significant amount of land from the Niger State government for establishing such scheme. Ekiti State government also has given us a large piece of land for post-service housing, and quite a few other state governments have promised us to give us land so that we can establish this post-service housing, so that on retirement, wherever a personnel want to settle, will have a scheme that can absorb him in that general area that is affordable, that is comfortable, that he can resettle in quite happily. We feel once this is settled at the back of his mind, he will be able to concentrate more and give his utmost in the performance of his duties going forward. One other intervention we have also carried out in terms of the welfare is the establishment of a microfinance bank for the Nigerian Air Force. We just launched the first edition of this bank at the Nigerian Air Force base here in Asokoro. The aim is to provide financial services which normal commercial banks will provide, but now in a very subsidized way. So for example, the interest rates will be much less than what you get normally on loans from commercial banks. It's also aimed to encourage, particularly now targeting the family members, the wives, and children of our personnel that are interested in establishing and managing small and medium scale enterprises. The microfinance bank for the Nigerian Air Force is aimed at directly supporting individuals with those kinds of initiatives so that they can have alternative sources of income, thereby improving the quality of lives of the families of our personnel. That is the first scheme in Abuja, but the target and the aim is to establish additional branches in all the geopolitical zones of the country so that personnel in our bases in all the zones of the country will also have access to this microfinance bank services.
The Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference took place from December 15th to 19th, 2024 at the Army Headquarters Command Officers Mess in Asokoro, Abuja. Chaired by Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, the conference assessed Army operations, addressed challenges and outlined strategies for the coming year. A key focus was developing a strategic roadmap for 2025 to tackle Nigeria's complex security concerns. The conference culminated in the commissioning of an affordable housing ownership program for soldiers.
I consider this for me to commission this wonderful self-fulfilling one of the university paid the price defending of their country. This will proceed to the court after
Come on now, come on now.
Affordable home ownership option for all owners and who was designed and constructed by Post-Service Housing Development Limited as part of the Chief of Army Staff Welfare Scheme of Owners and Commission by myself, General OFR, Chief of Staff on this day, 18 December 2024.
Likewise, this is the army showing telling you thank you for sacrifice. The army will always be there. We are proud of you. Okay, how are you? Say a very big thank you. The army is appreciating your efforts and that the army will always be by you. This is just a question to say thank you. Congratulations. We appreciate your justice for the army will always be there. We are proud of you. Part of all of you. Well done, gentlemen. Well done, part of all of you. Where are the keys? Yeah, what is the year? Where's the
Don't put that shit on the video.
Come on. Yes, it's the king of Nigeria.
Shit back. See, you have the camera, right? Problem.
And that God, I stand before you on this momentous occasion of the commissioning of the affordable home ownership option for all soldiers scheme. I will ask to short. I thank the special guest of honor, General Musa, for accepting to commission this milestone project for his primary constituency, the Nigerian Army. Today, through this commissioning ceremony, we fulfill one of the major welfare schemes of the Nigerian Army. This particular scheme was visited by a late leader, Lieutenant General Taoyi Dabiodun Dagbada, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, and the Nigerian Army Media, as part of the sound administration pillar of his command philosophy. As someone who also believes strongly that soldiers are the bedrock of the army, I made soldier first the foundation of my command philosophy and prioritized the completion and commissioning of this project before the end of this year. This project represents a landmark achievement in our ongoing efforts to enhance the welfare and well-being of our soldiers and their families. The objective is primarily to support the dream of every soldier to acquire suitable and befitting post-service living accommodation in their location of choice from the available site option. It is believed that the affordable home ownership option for all soldiers will eventually alleviate the housing challenges of our soldiers. This Idu Abuja phase of the AWAS project is a pilot project, and it took only 15 months of direct labor to complete, thanks to the dedicated efforts of the staff of Post-Service Housing Development Limited. As earlier mentioned by the Managing Director, with one of these projects, we house 400 subscribers and their families. I am committed to driving the process for the immediate completion of the subsequent phases of this development in Idu, Benin City, Ibadan, and we will deliver on our promises to our soldiers. May I see this opportunity to appreciate the governments of Edo and Akwa Ibom states for being the first set to believe in our proposal and key to this laudable scheme by allocating land for it in their respective states. I do hope that other states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory Authority, will subsequently key into this laudable scheme. As many are now aware, my command philosophy is to constitute the transformation of the Nigerian Army towards befitting a well-motivated and combat-ready force that can effectively discharge its constitutional responsibilities within a joint and multi-agency environment. Providing affordable homes in a serene environment actualizes the personal welfare tenet under the standardization pillar of my command philosophy. It is expected that this magnificent project will immensely motivate the our troops. I also do hope that this project transforms the Idu community into a vibrant residential area, thriving with commerce and recreational activities. At this juncture, I must just salute the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Post-Service Housing Development Limited and his team for the outstanding achievements recorded in implementing this scheme.
The armed forces of Nigeria have increased their readiness to protect the country from terrorist aggression, particularly during the Yuletide season. Robust operations targeted at terrorist leadership are being conducted across various theaters of operations, according to a statement issued on Friday, the 20th of December 2024 by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba. He disclosed that high-profile terrorist Hamisul Saleh, aka Master, and Abubakar Muhammad were arrested in separate operations in the North Central Theater. Another notorious terrorist, Bako Wogi, linked to the murder of the Sokoto monarch, was also arrested in the Northwest Theater. Although Wogi succumbed to gunshot injuries, he provided valuable intelligence before his death. During the week, troops neutralized 212 terrorists, arrested 272 persons, and rescued 152 kidnapped hostages. Additionally, 45 perpetrators of oil theft were arrested, and troops denied oil thieves receives the estimated sum of over 1 billion naira. Troops also recovered 247 assaulted weapons, 6,174 assaulted ammunition, and destroyed 35 crude oil cooking ovens, 27 dug-out pits, and 61 illegal refining sites in the Niger Delta area. Major General Edward Buba urged citizens to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activities to the authorities. The armed forces of Nigeria remain committed to achieving sustainable peace in the nation, according to General Buba. It is time for us to pay tribute to the brave men and women of the Nigerian armed forces who have made the ultimate sacrifice to protect our nation's territorial integrity. That's all for today's edition of Gallantry. Thank you for watching. Join us next time, same station. And remember, when you see something, say something. I am Amunde. Bye for now.